Okay, we're going to have a look at some questions here about quadrats. And quadrats are a piece of equipment that we will use to help us estimate the population of organisms in a natural environment. So this is usually something like a woodland or a beach or a pond. And the organisms that we're usually looking at are stationary organisms. So you can get, sometimes you can have animals, but generally it's talking about plants. Okay, so let's have a look at the first. So let's have a look at what's actually in this question. Let's have a little read through, just enlarge this for you. Okay. So some students investigated the distribution of dandelion plants in a grassy field. The grassy field was between two areas of woodland. And in this first figure, two students recording how many dandelion plants there are in a 1 meter by 1 meter quadrat. Okay, now what they've done is they've stretched, if we roll this down a little bit, what they've done is they've put a 30 meter tape measure in between these two areas of woodland, and they've made their survey line in between these two areas. They've put out their quadrat along this survey line, and if you have a look down here, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way up to 30. What they seem to have done from this is they've put down this quadrat at 2 meter intervals. So they've actually produced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 actual measurements. Okay. And here are the results. So what it looks like they're finding is that at one of the woodland areas, okay, like here, they're getting no dandelions. In the other woodland area, they're getting no dandelions. And in this area in between, they're getting, as you're getting further away from the woods, okay, moving up towards the middle of this open field there, you're getting more dandelions. There's an area here that doesn't seem to have any in, okay. More about that in a second. So we get to this part of the question here, A. How did the students use the quadrat and the 30 meter tape measure to get the results in figure 3? Okay. And it says you have to use the information from figure 1. We'll just remind ourselves figure 1 is this table. So what you've got is there is the 30 meter tape measure stretched out, and here's the quadrat next to it. Okay, now, and what they're doing is it says they're recording how many dandelion plants there are in a 1 meter by 1 meter quadrat. So they're counting the number of dandelions that are within that 1 meter square. And they've also placed the quadrat next to the 30 meter tape measure. And we know from this diagram that what they've done is they've placed the quadrat out at 2 meter intervals. Okay, this one's at 10, this one's at 12, this one's at 14. So they're placing these quadrats out at 2 meter intervals. So this is the information that we already know. Okay, so what we can do is we can add this to the paper, and remember that there are 3 marks for this. So we can say first of all that what they're doing is they're stringing out the 30 meter tape. Okay, they're stringing it out between the trees or the woodland. Okay, woods. So that's the first thing they're doing. You can obviously phrase it better than me. So they're placing that 30 meter tape between the trees or woods. That'll be the first thing. Okay, the next thing that they're doing, and you've seen it in the figure 1, is they are placing, place the quadrat next to the tape. Okay. They are recording the number of dandelions in the quadrat. Okay. Record dandelions in quadrat. And they are also taking measurements. They're repeating their measurements every 2 meters. There we go. Okay, so repeat process every 2 meters. There we go. And each one of these is actually worth a mark, up to a maximum of 3. On to B1, and we've got the question there, suggest one reason. Okay, there's only 1 mark for this. One reason why the students found no dandelion plants under the trees. Okay, and simplest answer for that one is that there is a lack of light. Okay, lack of light. Okay, and you can also say that it was shady under the trees. Okay, the next one, B2, suggests one reason why the students found no dandelion plants at 16 meters. Okay, now one of the best ways to answer this is to just say that it was chance variation. Okay, the dandelions will not be evenly distributed throughout the field. So that is one of the things. There are just some spots that should have dandelions in them and they just don't because it's a random distribution. Okay, so just say that it's a chance variation. Okay. It could also be something that the soil pH in that particular spot was wrong. Okay, or it could be that it had been eaten. Okay, quite possibly by things like rabbits, so eaten by animals. Okay, and you could also say that it had been trodden. Okay, if it was a kind of field where a lot of people go walking their dogs, then that particular dandelion area could have been trodden down. Okay, and that again, that will get you 2 marks. So any of these would be worth a mark up to a maximum of 2.